All right, good morning. Got up a little bit ago, just got done with flats back in the tent, grabbing a couple things. I don't know if I showed you in here or not. The cot, sleeping bag, just a bin and stacking stuff on, clothes and stuff. Pretty simple, but head out here real quick. So we had a nice fire last night, and it was pretty chilly. It's a beautiful morning. The sunrise was nothing less than spectacular. Love this campsite. Love this pad that they have here, which I don't think is necessarily planned as being for telescopes, but because it has a handicap um, paint on it here. But I don't know. Since it wasn't in use, it seemed like a perfect telescope platform. I see a shadow over there. Hey, shadow. Shadow. I don't know if you can see him. Morning, Lance. It was incredible sunrise. Yeah, I love this. This camp spot is amazing. Uh, we had some wind last night, but not too bad. I was trying for the Polaris IFN last night. I have no idea if I succeeded or not. Some clouds came in, ended up boarding somewhere around midnight. So I had about 4 hours of imaging in it, and it looks like, I don't know, probably the last hour of that is going to be throwout, but we'll see. But I decided to go ahead and take some flats anyway. So anyway, gonna make some coffee and breakfast and stuff like that. So talk to you later. One cool thing I wanted to show you is my power setup. I've got a power generator with solar panels that this is the first time I've tried to use it. Last night went pretty good. I used up more power getting set up than I intended. And then Lance brought over and gave me a piggyback off of one of his generators. That since we ended up shutting down early anyway, it didn't really matter. But I was hoping to get 8 or 9 hours out of this, so we'll see tonight if it's any better because I won't have all the setup and slewing around and polar aligning stuff that I did last night. Here, let me show you. So here's the solar generator. It's an Allpowers, and I'll leave a link to it down in the description. Also, the solar panels. Same thing, I'll leave a link to those down in the description as well. But sun's not up yet, so we're not getting a whole lot of wattage input showing here. It's got one right now, but we don't have the sun up yet. So take a look at that in a little bit. And we'll see how that is charging. So, all right. Anyway, I just thought that was pretty cool to show you. Then I'm just running my AC adapter And I may change this, thinking about going DC out, because I think it runs more efficiently than having to go through the power converter for AC, and that might be another reason. So I'll look at that and see if that might perform any better tonight. All right, talk to you later. All right, so Lance and I are off to the VLA.
I'm just admiring Doug's technical ability to figure out the camera so we can both be in the screen.
This is fun. It's better this way. I mean, it's safer. For driving, I don't have to keep going. And I don't have to hire you to like manage my cinematography for my YouTube videos.
You don't do like I do as I'm driving and I'm going like this at the same time?
No.
Or like that out the window?
My wife would kill me. She would watch my video and bring that up for sure.
That's probably not the safest thing to do. And have a dog on your lap at the same time. This is a beautiful campground.
Yeah, I am loving this campground. It is super nice. I was a little worried when I pulled in because I saw
turn right toward the
other campers here.
Then turn right on.
But it hasn't been a problem.
No, not at all.
I was worried about lights and things like that. We're probably more disruptive than anybody else.
I didn't see a single light last night.
I didn't.
Inside of one tent below us for just a little bit.
That doesn't bother me at all. It's just like a little light in the tent, and the tent was illuminated a little bit, and no big deal. There was that glow on the horizon that you pointed out, and
I'd like to know where that's coming from. You know,
you think that was the moon rising?
No, because the moon, I noticed when it did, I got up early and I could see the moon. It was just the very first phase. What do you call that? The sliver.
Yep.
And it was definitely not the moon. But where I live in St. George, when I go way out, away from St. George, Las Vegas is 2 hours drive south. And I can still see a glow coming from Vegas. So I almost wonder if that's Albuquerque. Seems like
I was wondering that too, but it's not supposed to be. Based on the SQM readings here, which are they're over 22. Like this plus 22 SQM, so it's definitely in a border one area.
I mean, it was way behind those mountains.
Yeah. Didn't seem to impact my my scope at all, and the shots I got with my iPhone last night.
Those were cool. You did. Those were cool.
Every time I'm out in the dark skies, I have to do that because it's just amazes me that what you can actually get. We can lock that right there.
There you go.
What you can actually get with an iPhone when the conditions are right. And so I did a 30-second image of the Milky Way last night, and the definition of the Milky Way was like awesome.
It's
but
incredible.
The stars just started to stretch just a little bit. One thing I don't like about the iPhone is that it doesn't allow me to select like 25 seconds. You know, it'll let me do like 15, like half of the maximum or the maximum, or
yeah, I believe that mine is also that way. I think I can do a 10-second or a 30-second.
Yeah. So I have other apps that allow me to have more control over that. That I use. Those app names are escaping.
So my understanding is that the 30-second exposure is not one 30-second exposure, but that they're stacking as well.
Oh, really?
That is my understanding. I think they might be 10 3-second exposures in a 30-second.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. I don't see it that way when the image is created, but it does spend a few moments spinning, so maybe it is doing some processing there.
Well, don't hold me to it, but somehow I picked that up. Whether it's right or not, now I gotta Google it and find out.
Yeah.
Now don't blink or we'll miss the town of Datil. How do you say it, Datil?
Yeah, let's stop here on the way back. I'll grab gas here, and they got an ice machine at the same place. Yeah, these little towns, I don't know about you. When I drive through, and a lot of these little towns are nearly ghost towns.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anybody's in them, and a lot of times you'll see that like along the old highways, and it was as a result of the interstate, that development, and highways like Route 66 were, and the towns that were along Route 66 were really adversely affected. If you go through Colorado, ever, not Route 66, but the towns that are along the highways off the interstate there's ghost towns everywhere, or it's absolute poverty, and because the whole economy was based on the highway that ran through town, for the gas and stores and all of the things that people spend money on when they're traveling. So it amazes me the differences in the townships along the interstate versus along the old highways.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you nailed it.
Isn't this an incredible country?
It's so beautiful.
I got a lot of road video along the way, and coming in here, I probably, knowing me and the way that I've done these videos in the past, it's like, okay, I'm heading home now. I'll see you when I get there on the videos. I'm done, So.
I've done both. When I do scenic, I tend to fast forward the footage and throw some music to the back.
Yeah, that's kind of my plan on this one. I'm talking in hindsight to you, but it's in the future to me because I haven't processed any of this video yet.
Sometimes, though, if I'm on a dirt road, like exploring, and you're just kind of creeping, and you can hear the dirt under the tire.
Yeah.
So there's there's something kind of magical about that too, just to leave it at the regular rate, whatever the rate you're filming,
Right.
as opposed to speeding it up.
Yeah, there's some time, where I was going through some mountain passes on the way in here. I think I may do real time. I don't know.
Real time, that's what I'm like.
I don't know if viewers are gonna just skip through it, or some may. I figure if you don't like it, you can skip through it. If you do, it's there for you, rather than me making the decision, because it's absolutely beautiful. And I had one area where I actually was successful in cleaning the bugs off my windshield. Yeah, I tell you. So I've been apologizing all the way here for the bugs, because every time I stop and clean the windshield, like within 10 minutes, we're getting bugs, So it was a futile exercise in trying to keep the windshield.
Well, so they're less buggy than if you hadn't cleaned.
The windshield
Makes you
wipers do
grateful.
work pretty good, but I got to go through like half a gallon to.
It makes you grateful for a windshield.
Yeah. So we should start seeing the VLA coming up here. I think we've got.
I think. Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah. This may be where I stop. Would you like to stop at this? There's like
Love to.
a pull-off area.
I would love to.
Okay.
So if my reading is correct, there are 3 arms. Each arm is upwards of 13 miles.
Yeah, it's spread out so much further than I thought it was. I thought it was much more compact.
And then each arm, they come together in the center. And each arm has 9 telescopes for a total of 27.
Okay. I think from where I was standing the other day, I could count 13 or 14 of them that were in view.
And then they can move them in a little closer or out as far as that full 13 miles, depending upon the object and the type of radio frequency they're going after.
Yeah.
I'm saying things that I don't fully comprehend. Radio astronomy is not my world.
Since it's not impacted by clouds, it makes me kind of want to be a radio astronomer.
Well, and also it's day and night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, right? We have to so we see through our telescope the visual spectrum of the electromagnetic wave spectrum.
Yeah.
which is very, very narrow. The radio telescopes are going after the long waves. That would be a low frequency, right? Long wave.
Yeah.
And they're apparently very, very faint. So the more they have, the better. And they all together work in unison to be one telescope.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But what's really crazy, we were talking about this, is how they take that information and convert it into a visual image.
And the images are incredible. For the,
That I can't figure out how, what the technology is behind that.
X-ray, it's the different technologies that we have available for
Oh, you're right.
observing and capturing.
You're right, because the X-ray, we're converting that into a visible image
Yeah.
as well.
I don't know what that image representation actually means for us. I mean, obviously we can use it scientifically, and it's certainly aesthetically pleasing in a lot of cases. As far as colors and things like that go. But as being an astrophotographer, we get kind of familiar with we have a lot of flexibility with what we want to do with color. So what we're seeing, it's hard to determine what because our eyes don't see that. So it could be any color that they decided to make
you're right.
it. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think they indicate, so this is hydrogen, so we're going to make it red. They're making decisions along that lines. Seeing, but yeah, so that stuff's really neat to look at, and sometimes it makes you feel like processing is futile because their images are so good.
Yeah, I know. This is just a big valley.
Yeah.
It pretty much fills the valley. So
Yeah,
Carl,
let's do a rotate here. Rotate that for me. See what we're seeing. We've got this beautiful mountain range up in front of us here, and off to the right, we've got the VLA Center. I think that's where we're going, as far as I know. And then, yep, and then just off to the left here, just off the road, this is where I stopped. It's a radio telescope's real close to the road. So, and there's a parking area right across the street from the highway from it, and we can park there and check this out from a distance real quick and get some pictures. All right, we have been here before. It's so windy out here, I don't think I'm going to talk much. I don't have my lavalier on. Let's walk across the road again. So I've got a little bit of a wind right here. Probably not much better. Going in. Looking forward to going into this visitor center and doing this tour and learning a lot more about the VLA and the history of it and what it's doing now and working. I don't know if we'll find out what they're currently observing. Maybe there's something in the visitor center of an information board or something like that. I don't know. We'll find out. It was neat being here, yesterday. And I think I got video of it, of the video telescope was actually moving. And I thought that was really cool. And then Lance was telling me, so this railroad that's over here, let's walk over and look at this. This is how they get maintenance materials and things like that they need in and out, but they also are able to move these radio telescopes and reconfigure the array. But they have to do it annually. And so they send a vehicle that hooks up and actually moves these things. So if they have a particular target, they can reorganize the array so that they can set up for that target. I guess it's like 13 miles long. And I think there's 3 different legs of this that go out in that make up the array, and each one is around 13 miles long or something like that, I think. Go get a still image with Lance. So one of our goals was to get a picture with the radio telescope behind us. All right, so we just finished up our little jaunt of the parking area, and
Super cool.
it is super cool. This is probably, I don't know if it can top it or not, because this is really cool.
It is so cool, right by the side of the road.
I
The
know,
railroad
you can get so
tracks
close
going right down the road there.
Yeah. And I'll put I'm gonna drop a photo in here because I just threw a sticker on the guardrails here that everybody comes along and throws their stickers on, so you can kind of see along here. So anyway, there's an Astro AF sticker on there now, and I just got done lambasting Lance for not having stickers.
Yeah, I don't have any stickers. Astro AF right there in the middle.
I don't know how long it'll last, but all right, so we're gonna head to the VLA.
People seem to be actually pretty respectful about not putting their stickers over other people's stickers.
Yeah, I was noticing that, and so I did the same way. I was looking for a spot, find a nice.
And there's a lot of stickers, but there's still room to put more stickers.
Yeah. And I also noticed that it's not just the stickers, but where people had written in pen, or maybe some might be paint. They haven't put stickers over that either. Looks like there's some motorcycle club stickers, all kinds of different stuff.
All kinds
here.
of stickers.
Some alien stickers.
Yeah. All right. So we just have a little over 2 miles to the entrance.
It's just crazy because they're so big that it makes it look like things are closer than they are.
I know. And when you have the scale of these mountains around you too, I have lost all sense of actual scale.
It's impossible. Vegas is the same way.
Yeah.
You walk out of a building in Vegas to go to another one, and you can see it down the road, and you think it's a 5-minute walk away, and it takes 45 minutes to get there because they're so huge that it throws the scale off.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I think is happening here.
Look at that. Goes all the way to. They picked the perfect valley. So they're. Um, I watched a documentary a little bit, short one on it, and they do everything they can to minimize interference. So like cell phones, even some cameras can emit electromagnetic radiation that interferes a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
but I think I saw that where they don't get a like do airplane mode on your phone here, but it's okay to have your camera on your phone.
okay.
And this here, it has
I don't-
Bluetooth, but
Yeah, I think these are. I mean, they're not cellular. And at the campground, being that I glamp, I did do a search for television stations. And I picked up 0.
oh, did you?
So they probably have done something to not have broadcasting in this area. So I used my iPhone as a hotspot, tapped into the Wi-Fi,
Oh,
and watched YouTube.
I've been getting slow loading web pages, but text messages have been working good. And okay, let's see. This is
I have a
Concho Hills Guest Ranch.
Wii Boost. It's called a Wii Boost, and a boost.
Yeah,
But
it's
your
cool.
your phone has to be within, I think it's 3 feet
Oh,
of the internal
oh, really?
transmitter, and then the internal is connected to an antenna on the top. It picks up the cell signal better than your phone,
Yeah.
and then boosts it, and it does work, but you have to be very close to it. So I put the phone right next to it, create a hotspot, and then I tap into that network with the TV.
Right on.
This little smart TV that costs like $89, and I can watch YouTube.
Nothing but a long stretch of road. Operated by Associated Universities, National Science Foundation. VLA. I heard part of what they have on the display out here, they are trying to show you some scale of how big these things actually are. And I think it's approximately like across one of these dishes is like 2 school buses lined up
Really?
front to back in length. And I think we get to walk, like, I don't know what they're doing over here. That looks like more like they're building maintenance or something like that. But I think we get to get up close to some of the components on this and some different types of observing instruments that they use or have used are on display.
I shall do the same.
Well, it's kind of busy today. The videos that I saw, this place was empty. I'll have to find I don't know if I can park right here or not, but
It'll be fine.
what do you think?
Yes. So if you have any questions, then we can start off with a 20-minute introductory video.
Okay.
This is the genius.
I'm a tour guide.
He was telling
Hi,
us.
I'm Doug.
Hi, Doug.
I'm
Chris.
Lance.
Chris, thank you.
Chris. First time here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what we do here?
You observe the universe in radio spectrum.
We measure invisible light.
Oh, do you?
Exactly.
Visible light.
Invisible light.
Oh, invisible. Yeah. Okay.
Visible light is what your Earth eyes can detect.
That's what we do.
Colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. If you'll open that up inside, there's a beautiful diagram of the electromagnetic spectrum.
All the way inside.
Yes.
Did you get it? I'm going with you.
Not yet.
You guys are from Earth, right?
We are
Yeah.
Okay.
kind of.
Because you were born on Earth, your eyes evolved to see just that much of the electromagnetic
Right.
spectrum.
Can I
And
go
radio
back?
waves on one end, gamma rays on the other,
So that's the electromagnetic spectrum.
all the way across. This is what your Earth eyes can detect.
Little sliver.
This facility, we operate in this range right here from 1 to 50 gigahertz. That produces a map of numbers that are meaningless until you have the special software that turns that into an image that you can relate to with your Earth eyes.
Yeah.
Because one thing you're really good at is seeing patterns.
How does color translated?
They add it artificially.
Okay.
Okay. Most times they will choose like red for hydrogen.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. So
that's not a hard and fast rule.
Right.
It depends on what the astronomer is trying to illustrate or trying to
Okay.
discover. And they choose the colors arbitrarily.
so there's some subjectivity to it, and
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And for instance, there's in that gazebo out there, we have images that we made over the years. And one of them, the hydrogen is colored green. It's up to the
Okay.
astronomer. Okay. They most often choose this red color. This red right here is hydrogen gas and dust, which is invisible to the human eye. Even if you were in your spaceship out near this galaxy M51, you wouldn't see that. And to give you some idea, optical astronomers, even on the clearest, blackest nights, are only seeing 15% of the stars in the universe. The rest
15%.
are obscured by gas and dust clouds because of the mechanisms of star formation and star death.
Awesome. And we thought we were seeing all of them last night.
Courtesy, because I don't know if you want to be filmed or not.
Oh,
I've probably been filmed once or twice. I don't know.
We both have YouTube channels.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping to share some information about the VLA with my
Yeah.
viewers, both astrophotographers, and we like to share information about
Okay.
this night sky.
Well, I know you're dying to know who Carl Jansky was.
Yes.
Yes, who is Carl James?
Okay. Back in 1932, one company ruled the telecommunications universe. They were called American Telephone and Telegraph. You know them today as AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
They had an engineering subsidiary called Bell Labs that was located in New Jersey near New York City. Carl Jansky was a radio engineer employed by Bell Labs. Well, back then, AT&T would generously let you call from New York to London via the transatlantic cable and talk for 3 whole minutes for a mere $75. In 1932.
In
that was a great
1932.
deal of money.
Fortune.
I could have crossed the country a couple of times on $75. But the call quality was terrible. And AT&T and Bell Labs said, Carl, find out what this is. It's killing us. Okay. So he built a crude type of antenna we call a dipole, basically a wire stretched on a frame. He put it on Model T wheels, and he made it rotate about every 20 minutes through 360 degrees. Now, Carl was mostly scanning the horizon because there was no such thing as radio astronomy at the time, and everyone thought this stuff was terrestrial in origin. He even pointed his antenna down New York City Broadway to see if that was causing it. After some study and doing some math work, he figured out it's coming from the black hole at the center of this galaxy. It's called Sagittarius A. Well, it did make the headlines at the time, like, wow, signals from space. This is something brand new. And it caused a little bit of a stir, but it kind of died down because the optical astronomers couldn't have cared less what a radio engineer thought about anything. Okay? But Carl gave some talks, he wrote some papers, and a little bit later, in the mid-30s and a little bit later, a young man in Wheaton, Illinois, fresh out of college. His name was Grote Reber. With his own money, his own time, his own labor, in his mom's backyard, decided he could go Jansky one better. With all his knowledge and everything, he was an electrical engineer, and studying Jansky's work and knowing something about some budding technologies, he built something so remarkably similar to one of these dishes without blueprints, without anyone in the world knowing how to advise him. It's uncanny. The guy was a genius, okay? He started scanning the entire universe and found out hundreds and hundreds of radio sources, what we call radio sources. Everything in the universe emits some kind of electromagnetic radiation as long as it's above absolute zero on a Kelvin scale. We use the Kelvin scale because we don't care in space where water freezes or where it boils.
Sure.
Okay. So anything that's above absolute zero on the Kelvin scale emits some kind of invisible light or radio waves or electromagnetic radiation, however you want to label it, in two ways. Thermally, because it's heated by something else, like the sun heating the moon. And when you see a partial moon, you'll also see just a little bit of the moon, kind of like sometimes. That's the residual heat of it cooling down from being heated, and it's causing it to emit radiation. Second is non-thermally, and that's at the molecular or the atomic level. When an atom gets hit with a photon of energy, it causes the nucleus and the electrons to spin in the same direction briefly, and then it snaps back because in nature, they rotate in opposite directions. They emit a photon of energy at the same strength as what they were hit with. Those photons or packets of energy are what we're measuring here. And everything has a unique signature. And the astronomers have special software to turn that series of meaningless numbers into something that you can relate to with your Earth eyes and go, oh yeah, I can see that. So cool. But you think about it, you use invisible light every day right here on Earth, and you don't realize it. You cook your food in a microwave oven. When you go to the Circle K, your hot dog stays warm under infrared lamp, right?
Yeah.
Okay. UV rays penetrate our atmosphere and will cook the molecules in your skin until you get a burn. And your doctor uses X-rays to see inside your body. All forms of invisible light can't be discerned, but we can measure it and we can quantify it by knowing how. And that's what we do here.
Very cool.
That is really cool.
We were just talking about this morning because I thought it was interesting. So, like with the microwaves and the hole pattern that's like on the door of microwaves.
Yes.
And how interesting that is, because you don't need to block the entire amplitude of the wave. You just need to have like the pattern so that it blocks.
It cooks the food and not the person
The
waiting to
waves
cook
are
the
too
food.
large.
Yeah, so the waves are larger than the
Escape.
pattern of holes, I think, is
holes,
if I understand correctly, and that actually effectively blocks that microwave emission from coming out of the microwave.
Yeah. Each of the receivers like this, there's 8 of them in the center of each dish. Each of these feed horns corresponds to a different frequency band.
Oh,
Okay. And it's just like your old car with the antenna on the fender.
Yeah.
Okay. There are 2 inside each of these that one receives signals in this phase, and the other receives the others 180 degrees out of phase. And that excites that and turns it into an electrical voltage that we amplify and clean up. And we actually take all the signals that we receive and we do what's called heterodyning, which we mix it down to another frequency so that we can work with it better. Okay.
Very interesting.
so this is what we have in.
This is what collects the
Each-
energy from outer space. These corrugations help keep it clean and focused. Then this amplification and
So
all
is,
that.
is this
Yeah.
out at the extent of the arms of the dish? So the dish is
There are 2 receivers that don't need anything aimed at them. They're at the very top.
Oh, okay.
The thing right under the very top looks like a salad bowl or a mushroom upside
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
That is how the operator focuses on whatever band the astronomer wants. That thing is movable, and the 8 receivers down in the bottom of the dish. Let me see if I can, they're all turned. Here we go. Here's a picture There's 8 of these of different sizes, those feed horns that feed the receivers down in
Oh,
here
okay.
that correspond to the bands. The operator can move that and point it at whatever frequency band the astronomer has requested his observation be made in.
Is
That's
this
awesome.
the largest radio observatory?
It is the largest fiber optic data linked observatory. There is a bigger one being built in South Africa, and I believe they're building one in Australia as well, that are larger physically, but they're not in the process where they can do a lot of observations yet. They're still building them up.
So this is for
This
the
is
moment.
For the moment, yes. And when we go to the next generation VLA, here's an artist's representation of what that will look like. We will be the largest again, because that is going to stretch from the state of Chihuahua in Mexico to southern Colorado, and from West Texas to eastern Arizona. No, it will be 263 dishes. About 155 will be here, but the rest will be laid out in spiral arms.
Looks like a galaxy.
Yes, and instead of moving them on railroad tracks to change the configurations, we simply turn the outer ones off and back on.
Oh.
Because they're going to cover a huge geographic area.
Mm-hmm.
To receive radio waves, you need a telescope that is miles wide. So the expense and the trouble of making something like that is much less than using 27 antennas or how many ever you want in your array.
Mm-hmm.
Through a process called interferometry, we make the data from those 27 look like one big dish.
Mm.
Is it possible to actually physically climb?
That is by special permission. You'll have to go to our operations center in Socorro and talk to the people there.
Okay.
It's a hard hat harness thing because of the wind. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then that antenna that you're going to climb has to be taken out of the array because it has to point straight up. You can't walk on it if it's still there.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
How many people are on staff here?
Between 75 and 100 per day keep this place running.
Okay.
We have crews that do nothing but the cryogenics, the cold stuff. We have crews that service the motors that move the thing. It takes 4 electric motors to move the dish. We have crews that service the fiber optic. You name it. We've got all kinds of people here.
Right.
So on any given day, about 75 to 100 people between here and our operations center in Socorro are working to keep this place going.
Okay.
They're
And
44 years old. They're mechanical devices. They need constant love.
is this university and science foundations or
We're funded-
and government or?
No, we're funded by the National Science Foundation, which is an arm of the government.
Okay.
But what they do is hand out money to scientific projects across
Right.
the spectrum. Okay. Our parent company, so to speak, is Associated Universities Incorporated, and that's a consortium of higher education places that teach astronomy, astrophysics, and the like. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's the people that sign the paychecks. We get $40 million a year from the National Science Foundation, which, if you know your federal budget, like a hubcap for an F-16, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So our electricity bill alone is $1 million per year.
Oh,
Yeah, because it takes
I
a
can
lot
imagine.
of energy to run these things.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining I'm an astronomer and I'm studying at a university or something, and I have an idea or I have some evidence of something, and I submit and I'd say I would like some radio telescope time,
Exactly.
and
That's
I
how it works.
apply for that. And
Yes. And what happens is the committee that studies that does not know who you are or where you're from.
Okay.
All they know is this good science. Do we want to do this?
Yeah.
You get notified that your observation will happen at X day and X time. You get another email saying it's done.
Yeah.
Get your data. Anywhere they are in the world, their office, their dorm room, their university, whatever, they can download their data by the internet from our operations center in Socorro. That's
Yeah.
where the server farm
Does the
is.
data eventually become public domain?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you have 1 year to use the data from your requested observation to write your fancy scientific paper
Okay.
and get published. Then it becomes public domain. So everything we've ever collected is over there in Socorro and is available to anyone in the world
That's
to
interesting.
use.
Yeah. So I want to find out more information about accessing that data, the publicly available data. So it's
Go to our website and click on For Astronomers.
okay. And I also want to learn about the tools for the radio telescope data that you're using for
That I
image.
can't answer.
Okay.
I've never even encountered it in real life.
Okay.
I know it is special software that costs hundreds of dollars, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, but for research purposes, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. Now, here are some images that you were asking me about images right behind you.
Oh, sure.
The things that you see, this is nothing but all 4 configurations put together, and it's a total radio image, okay? This one is radio data laid on top of an optical image. Okay? The red stuff is hydrogen gas and dust.
Yeah.
That's why the optical guys, a lot of times this blocks their view of lots of things. They can't look through it like we can.
Like we've dealt with that before, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Here is one where it's not kind of faint here, but the astronomer has used green for the hydrogen gas.
Oh, okay.
This is 2 dying stars that are rotating each other, and they're affecting each other like a child's top. When you spin it and it runs out of momentum, it starts wobbling. That's what they believe is causing these patterns, is these 2 things are wobbling in space.
Very interesting. Do you mind if
We produce about 40 Blu-ray DVDs worth of data every day.
Really? Oh, wow.
Do you mind if you're in a video?
I think all the warrants have expired by now. Anyway, whatever questions you have, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Look, you've got good questions.
Yeah, I have my questions answered, but I'm not exactly sure how to proceed through a self-guided tour here.
Well,
what would
we
you
have a
suggest?
map.
Okay, yeah.
You'll follow me, I'll give you the map, show you where to go. Okay, you simply go out this door. There we are. Turn left immediately, follow this sidewalk where these folks are going.
Okay.
It goes in a big circle. Just stay on the green areas. Each number is information about the array. You're welcome to go out to the visitor dish. Just stay between the blue and the white signs that are out there, please.
Okay.
You can go to the balcony of the control building. That you'll standing right there in the middle of that. You'll be right in front of the operator of the array, and it's a good place to take pictures. You
Okay.
can see down the entire north arm
Oh,
from there. Once you finish that walking portion, you are welcome to take your vehicle. This is driving only.
Okay.
Turn right out of our parking lot. Drive across the railroad tracks, that large building that you saw out
Yeah.
there. That's where they maintain the dishes. You can sit in that parking lot and take photos if you wish.
okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, the 2 transporters are out there right close to there, so you can photograph them as well.
All right. Neat. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Sure, you're welcome.
Really, thank you.
That was
Chris.
really fun.
You go by Christopher or Chris?
Chris is fine.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
And if you have one of those black bar things over my eyes,
All right, so pretty much going to go to background music here. I am thinking my microphone just isn't wanting to play today.
Okay.
And I'm going to do background music and tour this place.
You'll be surprised how good that mic is, but
Okay, we'll try it. We'll try it.
It does catch wind.
I've got wind noise reduction on. So listeners, it's either going to be from this point, it's going to be, or viewers, it's either going to be music or commentary. So we'll see how it goes.
We are going to do the self-guided walking tour
So Carl Jansky, considered one of the fathers of radio astronomy. And it was interesting that Chris just described for us about this inventing the first radio telescope, which was a simple device that detected electromagnetic waves.
Right? So, one of you will speak softly into one dish while the other listens at the focus, the little black ball of the other dish.
That's it. Hey, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. That is ridiculous. I can hear you too. That's just blowing my mind. Lance is talking to me down at the other end of this, and I can hear him here. And he can hear me, and we're both speaking very softly into the dish. It's It sounds really good too. So this is the half circle, 82 feet across. About the size of 2 school buses end to end. So I'll try and talk here with the wind, but I believe this is pretty cool. And I believe what this is a astronomical calendar that is telling us by virtue of this shadow what's visible in our night sky and what time of year. So maybe in the winter solstice coming in December, potentially this. So this is really neat. I'm gonna have to ask the guide about it or something, because I'm not sure if what I think it is actually what it is. Maybe there's an information panel up here. We'll see. Okay, so I came by this earlier. I didn't read it because I was just recording it. So it is a timekeeping device called a sundial. Of course, when the sun shines on it, the central sphere casts its shadow toward markers that help you tell the approximate time of day. Okay, cool. Wow, radio shadows. Interesting. All right, we are driving up to this facility. I guess it's the maintenance facility. Is that right, Lance? I think that's what he said.
Yeah, and he said we could get close.
Yeah.
Really close to one of the big ones.
So we can go up
So,
here and get as close as we can. They can look at where they repair and build these things. I don't know if they're building any new ones now at this point. They're probably just doing repairs and...
What I read that there's 27 in active duty. I'm sorry, 20. Yeah, 20. There's 20. There's 9 in each leg. So there's 27 in active duty, and then 1 that's in maintenance mode, and then that 1 gets rotated out, and they're constantly rotating them out. So there's a total of 28.
Oh, interesting. I'm assuming that this area right up here, he said there was a parking area.
I hope we're going the right way.
Well, I don't see any authorities coming after us yet, so... I'm assuming signs that are red are bad. No admittance.
Your guess is as good as mine, but
To authorize vehicles only that direction.
here's a little sign.
And this is U.S. government property right here. No trespassing. Okay, we'll keep going. Not doing anything wrong here. Don't wanna draw any attention.
Visitor parking.
Okay, so here's those tracks.
There's that machine that moves them.
Oh, cool. I don't think I'm going to get out and about here, but I do want to get turned around here and we can take a look at this. And oh yeah, and we can point inside there. But this is the machine.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the machine.
We can park.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. So this is the machine that they move these radio telescopes with. And I'm assuming they haul stuff out. You know, I can't imagine that if they got a small maintenance item that they haul the whole thing in here. So they probably take stuff out to there and do on
So,
site.
this one video I saw, that's where they put them in to do maintenance on them.
Yeah, but that's probably like, what if one component of this telescope here on the left breaks down?
Oh, I would think they would fix it in
We
place.
just got an electric motor, you know, or something that they need to replace.
No, I think you're right there.
So they probably throw it on the bed of this rail car thing, and take it out there, and a technician services it on site. Because you know, you got to imagine that moving one of these things,
No kidding.
you know.
No kidding. You mind if I jump out?
No, not at all. I will too. But I'll have to set up for 15 minutes again.